everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Abiola Ade. If this is your first time here, okay, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and share with your friends and your loved ones. You can call me Abiola by Grace, Abby, or Abiola. And to my regulars, thank you so much for coming back to my channel. Okay, yeah, so there's a lot to do. There's a lot when it comes to pregnancy. Like, there's a lot with it. There's a lot that comes with it. Aside to the changes to your body, physically, even spiritually, mentally, emotionally, there's so many changes, there's so many things. And that's because your body is processing a lot of things. Your body is doing so much, and I'm just here to, talk about that. And with this episode, we are actually going to be branching on my blog. It's been a long time I blogged. I've been doing more of writing than typing it on the blog. So I'm just going to visit my blog right now and then just going to read out my post because I'm likening this pregnancy to a process of being pregnant with great things. Aside the woman carrying the baby in the process of pregnancy, she's also carrying a destiny. She's carrying great things. There are other things the Lord is working on that is being birthed even with this child, and I remember that with my daughter because I shared here how, it was actually during my maternity leave that I started my YouTube channel. It birthed purpose for me after I had her, and then I remember one of my friends who said, when I told her I was going back to work, and then she was like, girl, why are you not working in purpose? Like, God has given you so many things. Like, why am I jumping back to paid employment? Like, there are things that God has called me to do. And then she said jokingly that probably that's why God even brought another pregnancy your way, so that you can sit down and, realize these things, and then birth it to its full course. Anyways, that's aside. I probably will bring her on board also that she can converse. She's full of wisdom, guys. Lola is full of wisdom. So yeah, we're going to have that episode with her. Right now we're on my blog, joyauthentic.blogspot.com, if you want to visit it. And I'm just going to read out the post here. Yes, I'm going to read out the post. Yeah, so here I posted this September 20 of 2020. And it's pregnancy and birthing. That's the title of the blog. And I say here, mere looking at the title, many of us will easily conclude the post is for women alone. That was that post. So same with this episode. It's not just for women. Beyond pregnancy, there are things God is also birthing in you as an individual, because we all get pregnant at some point. At some seasons we get pregnant and then we birth it. It can be an idea, which we're going to go over here. It can be anything. Okay. So it says, me looking at this, many of us will conclude the post is for women. Remember, don't judge a book by its cover. So don't judge this post by just thinking it's for women because of the title, pregnancy and birthing. And I'm reading this out here. I could have easily reposted it or sent it to many of you, but no, because many of us in my generation will prefer to listen than read. So let me keep reading. So the whole design of pregnancy and birthing is beyond the usual or well-known process of a woman taking in to birth children. Oh, so beyond it. I believe God created this also with the intention for us to know how great things can be birthed through the consumption of and use of space in our minds. You say? This might actually sound too deep for some of us, so I'll try to break it down. Okay, so then I said, please try to picture this as we read. So try to picture how a woman who already has the space, of course, and then she and her husband, they meet and then they get pregnant. So just try to picture that with this, that you two, you have a vacuum, you have a space, and then, you consume certain things, or you let God use your mind, your brain, your hands as instruments to birth great things. So it says, we all know what pregnancy phase is all about already. We as in both men and women, we know it's a process of taking in a seed, conception, nurturing the seed. Just like I'm pregnant now, I took in the seed from my husband, from God via my husband, and I'm nurturing the seed. So nurturing the seed within the woman, which comes with other processes of being conscious of what I eat, what one eats, Regular feeding. There are times that even your head will be the one telling you that you're hungry, right? Regular checkup, my antenatal, etc. This seed then grows into the most beautiful phenomenon called child, which then needs to get to the point of birthing. So as the seed develops, gets to the point where it's not a child, and then gets to the point of birthing after few months. After months, not after hours. Many of us conceive ideas. Many of us are pregnant with ideas for just 2 seconds, and we want it to start producing results. You say not just hours, days, not weeks of conception, but not only weeks, but months, because that's what the process requires. So what are you pregnant with? Pregnancy is a season of miracle. You are pregnant with something that God is set to birth through you. We are pregnant with children that God is set to birth through us. There are times I have to spend in prayers for God to tell me more about this child, for God to tell me more about this process. I read books about pregnancy. I ask questions about pregnancy, Okay. So what are you doing about the idea that you're pregnant with? Because that's a miracle you're carrying. What are you doing with it? So yeah, it now goes on to note, the child had to go through the process with the mother to grow to the point of birthing. The mother also grew or had some changes in the process. I mean, some of you can tell, like, look at my nose, look at my face, look at my neck, look at my body. Some of you can tell. Even the way I sleep now, my husband can tell. Yeah, so the mother also had to go through some changes. Also to note that no two pregnancies are the same. To be honest, like comparing this pregnancy with my previous, it's different. Many of us, when we are pregnant with ideas, the fact that you birthed your baking idea, it might not be the same way you birth your building idea, There are different processes. The mother also went through the process. Also to know that no two pregnancies are the same. While it's possible for two people who take in the same date to have the same estimated date of delivery. However, it is only an estimate. It is not guaranteed that it will be so. It is possible for you and someone to conceive the same idea, be pregnant with the same idea, but it doesn't mean that because A's idea started manifesting, producing results in May, it doesn't mean yours will produce results that May, or it will start manifesting in May. Okay, so why this analogy, may ask? The explained process is same with the seed of idea in our minds or in us. Sometimes we put a date to the birthing of these ideas, like the EDD I explained. But the time of birthing depends on how nourished, how nurtured, and how ready the idea is in your mind. Because you are the carrier of the idea. You are the one who is pregnant, and the one who is pregnant with this baby, with babies or children. And it will take time or process before launching out. And it's taking time for the baby. When I conceived, in fact, I didn't even know up until almost 2 months. As I knew, it didn't mean that at that 2 months, I will birth the baby. The baby still has to go through some months of processing. Same with your idea. Same with that miracle. It will definitely go through a process, but it will definitely manifest if you're patient. Because I have to be patient now, even though I'm probably like 5 months now. I can't say I'm ready to push. No, because this is not the time to push. The time to push will come. And even when I want to do lots of pushing, Holy Spirit, please, in the name of Jesus, you push the baby out in good health and sound mind. Okay, yeah, so the process will include various things. So it will take some processes before you launch out the idea. The process will include various things, such as feeding yourself with the right knowledge, perhaps in form of returning to school, reading books in the field that you're working in or you're trying to work, or across fields, asking questions for the idea that has been planted to grow. Sometimes we are too fast and sometimes we are too slow, which can impact the stage of birthing or if birthing will even take place. Which is true. Like I said, I can't push now. And it gets to a certain stage where they even say once the baby has passed 40 or 41 weeks, they start having to use other methods for the baby to come out. Sometimes, too, some of us delay some processes that God has given to us. Yes, because we did not actually pay attention to get the instructions. Okay? Sometimes we need to know that there are two major players involved in this: the seed, the child, the idea, and the mother. And therefore, for birthing to take place, it has to be the right time for both the mother and the child. It has to be the right time for both you and even the idea you're trying to birth. Okay? I feel we mostly birth ideas on the sentiment of "it's time for us," without consciously reviewing surrounding factors for the idea. You are ready doesn't mean the idea is ready to be born. You are ready. I'm ready right now. I can say, oh, I want to start sleeping, without having to turn. It does not mean that it is now time for me to have the baby. So sometimes you're ready, this idea, it's time now, let's start launching out. So okay, let's now blow. It might not be time for the idea to blow. It might not be time for the idea to be showcased to the world. Okay? Again, sometimes we need to know that just like a child keeps growing after birthing stage, our birthed idea has to keep growing and advancing as well. So yes, now you've gotten to the time of birth and the baby has come to this world. I will not just neglect the baby, that the baby should just be growing without nourishing the baby, without feeding the baby, without taking care of the baby, without pampering the baby. No. So same with your idea. You can't just launch the idea and then, okay, keep bringing in money for me or keep manifesting your ways. You have to keep on putting in the work. Okay? Yeah. Up to this point, it says, now I said, sometimes we also need to remember that there is a creator of all things, the planter of all seeds, the planter of the children, the ordainer of this miracle, the ordainer of your idea, the ordainer of the purpose of the great things that is birthing in you. And there is need to be in check with him along the way, no matter how you feel, or no matter the report you are being told as you journey through the process. Now, I'm going to stop on that. I'm going to, talk more on that and then stop on that. To be honest, even while you're pregnant, God has given you the miracle of pregnancy. You have to spend time. Like, there is need to consciously spend time with him, to discuss with him. Because there are certain times that you go to the doctors and they are saying different things. I remember at my previous pregnancy, they were saying different things. Baby having 2 placentas, 2 Ds, all the likes. Baby might not be growing because of the other placenta. So many things were being said. But if I wasn't rooted in the word, if I wasn't rooted in the fact that there was the God who planted this seed, if I wasn't being in check with him, I would be disturbed. Was I disturbed several times? Of course, yes. I would tell you I was actually disturbed several times back then. I was really worried. But, there is a God who created the miracle. He's the one who started the miracle and he finished. Whoever alphas a thing is the alpha and omega. And when he alphas a thing, is the one that will omega it. Same thing with your idea. If your idea has been given to you and you've already birthed the idea, or you're in the process of birthing, you have to stay in tune with him. You have to be in check with him. He's the one who gave you this miracle. He knows more about this miracle, about this idea process, about birthing the idea, birthing the children, even more than you. So I just hope that with all this, and if you really want to read through that post, I'm going to leave a link to my blog. It's been a while. I checked. It's been a while I actually posted on there, but then I'll leave a link to this particular post so that you can read more on that. I hope you guys have been able to learn 1 or 2 things and you've been able to see that pregnancy is beyond, being pregnant with a child. It's a miracle. It's a miracle to be pregnant with a child. It's a miracle to experience pregnancy. Pregnancy is also a time where you're have conceived ideas, conceived great things that are supposed to be birthed for the change and, for that change to happen in your generation. So I hope with that, we've learned a few things, you've noted down some things, and I hope that the Holy Spirit will also minister to you and help you to understand this, even beyond everything I've said today. I hope to see you guys on my next episode. Until then, take care and stay safe. Bye.